he has done. Amen. All the good things that he has done. And I can say that with conviction. Amen. For found out that all things work together for good. For those who are called and those who love the Lord, all things work together for your good. It might not feel good, might not look good, but it's for your good. It's for your good. So we're grateful that we have grown and matured enough to know that whatever God does, His purpose behind it. Sometimes He uses those circumstances and events in our lives to draw us closer to Him, because we have a tendency of drifting from Him. I have found out, Reverend, that God is in the same place that He's always been, on the throne. We can lift our eyes there, so we give Him glory to my wife, to our ministers, to the deacons in the back, to all of God's children. Amen. We are so grateful to see you this morning on this second Sunday of the year. Amen. We're grateful for you. We're not going to hold you real long. Amen. They done gave me a little preaching time. Amen. They done gave me a little preaching time, but we want to be good stewards of the time. Amen. 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 So if we don't get it all out today, we are trying to ask God to give it to us again next week. I'm trying to stay in this vein that we have been preaching from. God has been leading me through the Old Testament. There's a passage that I want to piggyback on what we have been teaching and preaching from last Sunday and the Sunday before. It's going to be our theme for the year, so you'll be hearing a lot about how to live. How to live, not die. How to live, that's going to be our theme. The Reverend said it this morning, it was Romans 12, 1 and 2, going to be our theme. I beseech you, brethren, by the mercies of God, that you present your body as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable unto God, which is your reasonable service. Be not conformed to this world, but be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. That's how we're going to live. But this series that I want to continue in today is found in a very familiar passage again, coming out of 1 Kings. The 19th chapter of 1 Kings. I'm going to read verses 1 through 5. It's on the screen. Verses 1 through 5. In your spare time, I always encourage you on this. I believe you got enough time, because a lot of us ain't going to work here at home. I ain't doing too much of nothing now but sitting and looking at TV. On your spare time and your break time when you get off the computer, read these chapters, verses 17, 18, and 19, to get you some more insight on this passage where we'll be preaching from today. I want to say this. I was talking to one of the older members, New Year's I was speaking to one of the older members, and they said they made a commitment to God that they're going to do better. Older member. And she said, Pastor, I can do better. I said, well, how can you do better? She said, I don't spend enough time with God. She said, I sit around all day and just look at TV and talk on the phone. And she said, I can spend more time with God. And I believe we all can do that by spending just a little bit more time with God. Then we'll learn how to live Found in, I just wanted to say that 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, verses 1 through 5, I'm going to read for you. We shall move on. And Ahab told Jezebel all that Elijah had done, also how he had executed all the prophets with the sword. All right. Then Jezebel sent a messenger to Elijah, saying, look what she said, so let the gods do to me, and more also, if I do not make your life as the life of one of them by tomorrow, about this time. And when he saw that, what he did, Elijah, he ran for his life and went to Beersheba, which belongs to Judah, and left his servants there. But he himself went a day's journey into the wilderness and came and sat down under a broom tree, and he prayed, watch this, that he might die, and said, it is enough. Anybody got to that point? It is enough. Now, Lord, take my life, for I am no better than my fathers. Then, as he lay and slept under a broom tree, suddenly, an angel touched him and said to him, arise and eat. Then he looked, and there by his head was a cake baked on coals and a jar of water. Look how he provided. Lord have mercy. I'm going to stop right there. I got some more to read later on. I'm going to stop right there. I want to talk about the courage to live. The courage to live. Say that with me. The courage to live. The courage to live. On last week, in this opening series, a portion of this series, we talked about how to make it in 2021. Y'all remember that? How to make it, how to live in 2021. And springboarding from that, we said on last week that, amen, there are certain things we should do found in the book, yes, of 2 Chronicles. When we shared with you from 2 Chronicles, we told you last week, there are certain things you and I must do if we are going to make it in 2021. Now I understand that we have a God, Brother Finn, that can carry us because he has carried us from our early existence to this moment. Amen. But there's still some things you and I must do if you and I are going to learn how to live and not die in 2021. And when I talk about death, I'm not always talking about physical death. Amen. So let's clear that up. Amen. We're not talking about physical death, but we're talking about spiritual death. And there are some things that really need to die in our life. Amen. There are some things that need to be mortified in our life, put to death. Some things need to be cremated in our life. There's some things need to be buried in our life. Yes, but I'm talking about how we going to make it spiritually. How we going to live spiritually, son, and not die. We told you last week out of 2 Chronicles when Asa was king of Judah, amen, how that he had many victories. Y'all remember that? He had victories in battles, he had won, but yet in due time and times after that, he was confronted with some other issues, and then he had the victim's mentality. I told you last week, if we're going to make it in 2021, you have to avoid the victim's mentality. Amen. Y'all need to hear me because some of us feel like we've been victimized. Amen. We feel like we've been hurt. We feel like we've been defeated. But if you're going to make it, amen, if you're going to make it, if you're going to be successful, if you're going to learn how to live and not die, amen, you're going to have to avoid the victim's mentality. You're going to have to take the mindset of that you is a victor and not a victim. Amen? I'm trying to help you here. Always remember, I told you last week, always remembering God in previous matters. If God brought you out of one battle, he's able to bring you through what you're going through now. Can I get a witness here? Can anybody testify that you was in some situations in life that God had to bring you out of that? Now you're faced with something right now. Well, just look in the rearview mirror and you will see how God worked it out then, and he's the same God today, am I right, from yesterday and forevermore. He's a God that does not change. Amen. He's a God that does not change. So remember what God has already done. Don't let your present challenges, I told you last week, cause you to forget about what God has done. I'm trying to get somewhere. Y'all better listen to me so you can get some help. Amen. Don't let your present challenges cause you to forget what God brought you through already. Can I get a witness here? Now let's talk about, Asa last week, he started forgetting something, the battle that he had won and the battle that God had fought for him when he cried out to the Lord and said, oh Lord, help me, and how God came through for him. Have you ever cried out to God and God came through? Yeah. So we saw you that last week. And then I told you, if you ever get in trouble again, just remember, allow God to get you out of it. Huh? I say allow God to get you out of your present mess. Sometimes we mess it up bad when we try to work it out in our own knowledge, our own sense, then we got the answer to the problem. Well, if we had the answer to the problem, we wouldn't have got ourselves in that mess in the beginning. If we were that smart to get out, amen, we should have been smart enough not to get in. Amen. So let me move on. Then I told you last week, don't let your emotions get you down or get the best of you. So today, amen, in 1 Kings, the 19th chapter, verses 1 through 5, and some more verses here, we want to just lift 3 more points today out of the text. Amen, that's going to help us, amen, to have courage to live. Amen. We are all recognized here. We recognize what we have been facing the last few days. Come on here. Y'all know I'm a reverend preacher. I like to preach current events, things that we're faced with and what we're dealing with in today. Amen. That can propel us to make it to tomorrow. We have been experiencing this pandemic, 2020 challenges that has been uncomfortable. Amen. Circumstances that have changed the course of life. Amen. The things that we used to enjoy, we find ourselves not enjoying them anymore. Places we used to go, we can't go anymore. Amen. We can't fellowship. We can't go to the restaurant and spend God's money at the restaurant like we used to. We can't go to the shopping mall and spend God's tithes like we used to. Can I get a witness here? So God, come on here, somebody. Amen. So we can't do all the things. So God has a way. And so life has challenges. Can I get a witness? I say life itself has challenges. I heard Reverend, somebody was saying, Reverend was saying, you can't even visit folks in the hospital where people are being kept out. Watch this. Kept out from visiting folks in the hospital, but they can't keep them from climbing walls. Come on here, somebody. Now they can stop them from going into the hospital visiting sick, but they don't have the strength and the mindset and preparation, help me somebody, to keep them from climbing walls and destroying God's ordained ordinance of his United States of America. We're living in some tough times. I got to say myself, America is in trouble. And I wish I had somebody say, America is in trouble. Can I get a witness here? So we're living in tough times. We're living in times where that life is uncertain. Amen? Come on here, somebody. I say life is ever changing. I don't know how it happened like that, but sometimes you can be up today and down today. Life is ever changing. Nothing seems like it stay the same all the time. You can have a whole lot of money today and then you can be broke today. Come on here. It don't take but one incident in your life to turn your whole life upside down. Amen. You can be healthy this morning, you can be sick this evening. Come on here, somebody. You can have a job this morning, this evening you don't have a job. Come on, somebody. Life is uncertain. You could be in the church right now, might not make it out today. Life carries some uncertainty. Can I get a witness that life is so inconsistent? Everything is changing. Nothing remains the same. Come on. Here it is in the text. And I'm going to be through. I got 3 points I'm going to lift. If you're going to have courage, you got to have courage to live. Say courage. Courage. Come on, you cannot be afraid to live. Come on here, somebody. I said you got to have courage. You can't be fearful. Come on here. You can't be afraid to live the way God designed for us to live. Come on here. You got to take courage. We have to be steadfast, unmovable, always abounding in the work of